Hello people, welcome to my channel Physio Guide by Divya. So today I'm going to explain about gait. What is gait? Gait, it is a human locomotion described as a translatory progression of a body as whole. Translatory means uniform motion of in one direction, okay? In short, I've explained you this topic clearly. Before reading into textbook, once see this video and read in textbook, you'll understand this topic clearly. Okay, so it is a forward progression of the center of gravity based on reciprocal movement of reverse movement of the lower extremities. Forward movement progression of the center of gravity based on the this downwind return movement of the lower extremities. Normal human gait needs good muscle power, lower limbs, trunk stability, good proprioception means your body ability to sense movement, action, location, okay, that must be good, and good balance and vision also must be good. It is divided into stance phase and the swing phase. Stance phase means the foot is in contact. Swing phase means the foot is in air. And electrogoniometer means that use of that to see angles, sensors will be in this. And goniometer means it measures the joint range, how much it is there, will check by goniometer. Similar like protractor also measures angles between moving segments of joints. And cadence means number of steps per minute, we'll see, and number of steps per minute, it is 60 to 120 steps per minute in minute. And pathological gaits, what are the pathological gaits? If pathological gaits means improper gaits, what are there means that may be due to neurological or orthopedic cause. As a result, there will be pain during movement, loss of muscle power, and increase in fluctuation muscle done. Fluctuation means irregular rising or falling, like irregular rising or falling, fluctuation like up and down, like we'll say, no, muscle tone, and incoordination of muscle and skeleton. Deformity means malformation. Okay, what is the Parkinson gait? It's also called the Fascinan gait. See, I'll show you in diagram. This is the Parkinson gait. A mask like face is there. Asymmetric resting tremors will be seen, and postural instability, shuffling gait, freezing, rigidity, and reduced arm swing will be reduced, and slowed movements are slowed. Now we'll read in text in this. Gait is seen in Parkinson patients who are affected with rigidity, slowness of movement, and stooped posture, and increase in cadence, and patient takes short rapid shuffling steps with the forefoot as initial contact, and arm swinging, and short stride length. Okay, length will be short, and this is the Parkinson gait. Okay. Next one, Caesarean gait in spastic patients. Caesarean gait means like this patients. Like this gait of the spastic patients. And bilateral adduction, here adduction is seen, adduction spasm at hip, and equinus contraction of ankle, equinus contraction of ankle, and patient leans outwards, he's in moving outwards, forwards and outwards, and unable to clear ground when taking a step, and tilt his body to opposite. He is tilting his body to opposite side, and he then raises knee and brings it forward when comes in contact with other knee in support. Hip serves as a pivot for pelvic subject, walks on toes because of the spasticity of tendo Achilles. Tendo Achilles means this is leg, no, the tendon which is present at the back of the leg, tendo Achilles with spasticity. Okay, and hip trunk sways, in short, hip trunk sways from side to side, no symmetry in weight bearing, steps, unequal length is seen. Now ataxic gait means like this drunken gait, means like a person who is drunk, they sway from one side to other, no, like that, staying reeling like gait. In cerebellar diseases, cerebellar ataxia, we will see this type of gait. In disseminated sclerosis, patient cannot rely on his own proprioception response, he walks on a reeling, like not stand on his own. He's like reeling. See, in picture we can clearly see reeling and staggering manner, like a drunken person, and with a tendency to swing. Tendency means a type of behavior to swing to one another in bizarre manner. Bizarre means very strange manner, like that we'll see. Okay. Step length and stride length are unpredictable with frequent falls. Okay. Now next one, sensory ataxic gait. See, in this sensory ataxic gait, he raises the affected leg, he is raising affected leg, hip, and throws it forward and then stamps down on tapes dorsalis. Okay, now we'll see clearly from textbook. In this case, the patient is very little sensor cubes, due to which he has to look continuously at the ground and walk with his feet wide apart. See, like this, wide apart. He raises the affected leg high, throws it forwards and then stamps down heel first with an impact. This type of gait may be noted in taps dorsalis or a cord. Now waddling gait. Waddling gait, body sways from side to side like duck. In dystrophy patients and in adults with severe osteoarthritis of knee and late pregnancy also will see this type of gait. Okay. Now in textbook we'll read. In a waddling gait, the body sways from side to side. Body sways from side to side like that of a duck. The feet are placed wide apart to increase the base of support. In dystrophy, muscle dystrophy also, in the muscle dystrophy patients, they may be also be plantar flexed due to shortening of the calf muscles. The shoulders are thrown back and the abdomen thrust over. Very often there is a partial or total paralysis of the gluteal medium on both sides. These causes of the gait in children are congenital dislocation of hip and muscular dystrophy, and in adults severe osteoarthritis, knee or late pregnancy also we'll see. Next one, high stepping gait. High stepping gait is also known as a foot drop gait. The dorsiflexion of foot is paralyzed. See, like this high stepping gait, this is the problem. Okay, now we'll read textbook. High stepping gait. High stepping, the gait is also called as foot drop gait. It's present in condition whereas the dorsiflexus of the foot is paralyzed and lateral popliteal nerve paralysis, and disc disease or poliomyelitis. During the swing phase, the patient is unable to clear the ground well and his toes drags. See, here he is dragging, no? Drag on the ground because of the foot drop. So he compensate by lifting the knee and hip higher than normal on his side. During heel, the forefoot slaps on the ground. Next one, hand to knee gait. Hand to knee gait. In short, we can write as during mid stance, knee is extended on paralysis of the quadriceps. Patient's locking of knee, passively pushing knee backwards by patient putting his hand over front of the lower thigh. In short, we can write. Now in we'll see text. During mid stance, the knee is actively extended and locked. The stabilizing action is performed by the knee extension in patient with paralysis of quadriceps due to poliomyelitis or femoral nerve injury. The knee buckles back because of the instability. Therefore, to stabilize the knee and therefore the rest of the body, the locking of knee is done passively pushing the knee backwards manually by the patient putting his hand over the front of the lower limb. The patient limps on as he walks, bends forwards and laterally, and this combination of forces can result in deformities such as scoliosis or genu rectum. Now, in gluteus maximus gait, lordotic gait also we can see this type of gait. Stabilizing factors is lost when gluteal maximus is paralyzed. Patient leans backwards. See, he is leaning backwards. During heel strike, usually extensors of the spine and throwing his head back to passively extend the hip. Now, antalgic gait means pain gait. You feel pain at one leg. What is it? Gait is the presence of pain in one or both of the lower extremities. To minimize pain, person shortens duration of the stance phase or painful side to quickly transfer weight to painless side. Now hip hiking gait. This is the hip hiking gait. Elevation of left side of the pelvis. The hiking gait. When the hip or knee paralyzed or plastic cast has been recently removed from the knee after 1 or 2 months of the immobilization, they cannot be flexed during the swing phase of the gait to clear the ground. The patient he lifts the entire leg higher than the normal to clear the ground. Gait that thus results from stiffness, and it may be painful or pain-free. During this cycle, the pelvis is elevated by exaggeration, plantar flexion of the opposite ankle, and circumflexion of the stiff leg to provide toe clearance. Next one, hemiplegic gait. In circumduction means like this, circumduction gait. It's quite common to see in stroke victim ambulating by bringing the affected leg round in a semicircle to place it on the front of them. This is due to bear walking. When a person is unable to walk erect, and it does not wish to crawl, he adopts a different form of mobility pattern. He walks like a bear, using both his upper extremities in addition support, but with his knee extended like this, termed as bear walking. It is not really walking in the stride sense of word as applied to humans, but it is modified form of crawl. Okay, so I hope you understood this topic clearly. See, thank you for watching my video, and take a screenshot if you want to. Thank you for watching my video.